Do you think he has a capacity to be on Big 12 this year?
Yes, I do. I think the sky's the limit for him. Again, what people see on Saturday is his ability to play the game between the lines on the field. But what I see during the week, it's all about the growth in the classroom and really understanding pictures and understanding what the defense is trying to get accomplished. And I think if he continues to grow in that capacity, of taking that next step mentally. But the great thing about it is he saw Deuce do it a year ago, the last 2, 3 years, and saw how he handled his meetings, how he handled his notes, how he handled everything that he did to get himself prepared for a game, And so I think having a great mentor like that, and then that, hey, I fit, and I belong here, and I got a great mentor from Deuce Vaughn, man, it's the sky's the limit.
So you said he kind of came out of nowhere, but you had an idea.
I did have an idea of what kind of player he was because the kind of person he is, and being humble is part of your development. And being humble is part of you being a good football player. I get guys like to brag and boast about, who they are, how many stars they got. But at the end of the day, I mean, a humble guy is a hungry guy. And I think that's who he is. And he has a lot of hunger in that people don't see, but I see it every single day. And he's not going to brag about it. He's not going to talk about it. Like him rushing for 200 yards and 4 touchdowns in a game, you would have never known that because that's not who he is, And so that's what makes him special because of him being a humble person and him being a guy who he doesn't want to be out in the spotlight, but he understands that this is part of his life now, and so as he continues to grow and as a player and then as a person, man, you're just going to see him get better and better and better at everything he's doing.
Brad, will he be challenged by what he did last year going into this, you think?
I think he challenges himself every single day. It's like
because it's certainly gone up.
Yeah. It's definitely gone up. And so like when we're watching film this morning and he had a couple of runs yesterday where he didn't hit it just right. And he knew right away, because I knew once I got the ball it was too wide or I got to see that better. So he can start answering those questions. I'm sure he's watching practice right after practice. Mm-hmm. And when a kid's doing that right now, then he's taking those necessary steps to make himself a better player.
Is that where his greatest growth has been, do you think, off the field?
Yeah, off the field. That's what I preach a lot of it in my meeting room, because just coming to meetings and going to practice is not going to make you a better player. There's a process to this, and a lot of it is how do you develop off the field, and not just between the white lines. And so when guys understand that part of it, that it is a process to be a good player. I play a lot of different videos in my meeting room. It's Tom Brady or Michael Jordan, or whoever it may be, and they all talk about the process. Every single one of them talk about the process of being a good football player or basketball player, that it's going to take time, and you have to go through things to make yourself a better player, and it's not going to be just at practice. I think last year, or 2 years ago, it might have been last year, I think, Scott, you interviewed Deuce about his touchdown against South Dakota, and he gave you an unbelievable answer. Well, that just didn't happen. Right. I mean, he gave you great detail because of his film study. That's doing things outside of my meeting room. That's called greatness to me, and so I think as DJ's taking those next steps, you're going to see a different guy. There's no different. You saw Deuce's development from a freshman, sophomore to his junior year. You saw development, and you said, hey, how good can this guy be? And then you saw what he did in the preseason last year. How good can this guy be? So that's what it's all about. I'm trying to give those guys as many nuggets as possible to be the best players they can be. And if they hold on to those nuggets, man, good things will happen to them.
Does that mean you'll ever get him to talk a little bit more, or is he still going to do that?
If you talk about fishing, he'll talk.
Yeah.
But I don't need him to be loud.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I want him. I want him to be himself. And if he's not comfortable with a situation, but what I did tell him is this. I said, now, you're going to want to play in the NFL. He's like, yeah. I said, well, one thing you're going to have to do, you're going to have to sing in front of the whole team. He's like, for real? I was like, yeah, you want to call Deuce and find out what that's all about? Man, I don't know about that, Coach. I said, well, that's part of the process, buddy. So deal with it.
Beyond DJ, what has you excited about your room this year?
just the guys are all hungry. I mean, that's what I see every single day. They're eager to learn. I mean, they're all sitting in the meeting room. They got their notebooks open. They're taking unbelievable notes, and they're trusting the process, and they've all gotten better. Like I told them the other day, I said, guys, this is the room right now. We got one more guy coming, and we'll see what happens after that. But right now, this is our room, and we got a chance to get better every single day. We can't worry about what we don't have. We got to worry about what we got. And so if you guys all take that and run with it, man, we'll be just fine. So I think their hunger is really what I'm excited about.
How has